Alright, welcome back, Weather Kingdom. In this update, we're doing live coverage on this major winter storm here. And I am going to be in the general... Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just looking at some things here. I'm going to be kind of watching this with you guys. We're only going to use the herd now. We're kind of at this point where we just thinking where our best snowfall is likely to fall. We are now at 13Z, you guys, and some of these snowfall totals have fallen, believe it or not. Frederick has gotten about an inch or so. I am getting some things set up here. If you guys are just tuning in, we are doing live coverage on this winter storm, like I said. Sorry about it being a lot later than expected. I did woke up a little bit later, and then I got out and went outside. I actually did post a little bit of my first inch of snow. I just drove around just to the, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to the south of me. And, 10 minutes to the south of me, there's a little bit more of a wintry mix kind of in my region. That's a little bit interesting. I don't think we were supposed to change over in that area a little bit quicker, but it's more of an elevation because once I got out of the city, the city-like area, it already changed right back. So I think it's just one of those systems where higher elevations are going to get the best snow. It's a elevation nor'easter, if you know what I mean. Okay, this is the similarity and radar here. This is pretty interesting here. We do see around 9 a.m. We go to about 10 a.m. It's still snowing heavy in many areas. But let me just quickly look at this here.
Engagement. They're making it sound like it was a separate, engagement that occurred minutes later, and my understanding is it really was. Yeah, so first of all, the Secretary of State is coming down.
Alright, I am in the process of getting everything set up here. I'm looking at the radar too. We're in a little bit, yeah, it's pretty steady here for the most part. The snow line hasn't moved much further north at this given point. Alright, so I do think this is about 10 a.m. 10 a.m. looks very interesting going into this point. I think this is a pretty fair to say what it's going to look like around 10 a.m. And then if you go into about 11 a.m., that snow continues, 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 o'clock, and, the herd model wants it to stay a little bit snowier than we were looking last night. And in this scenario, when we take a look here, let me just I need to quickly do this. I'm trying to get everything set up here. I do need to do that. So, let me go into here, live performance, yeah, for snow. We already got that. Thank you guys for checking out my short. I'm currently watching my live here. I do want to fix that up just a little bit. Let's turn that on. Alright, I think we're doing pretty good on that. Let's go out of this. I'm going to keep it live on the chat board here with you guys. I'm just getting my other screen all set up with my chat board here because I know we already got a few people watching. Hello everybody. How is everyone? How is everybody? If you're just tuning in, live snowstorm coverage, alright, is going on here. When we take a look at the total snowfall, this is a little bit interesting here. The latest hurt, believe it or not, does get quite a bit of snow into these areas. It has gone up in its snowfall. It does want to say, in my area around, in the northern Lehigh Valley, could actually see about 4, even closer to 5 inches in some spots. I think that's a little bit overdone right now, what I am seeing currently outside. But I think if 2 more inches is possible. Once you get up to the Poconos, I do believe, 6, 7 inches is very possible. Go north of the Blue Mountain Ridgeline, and you're looking at some spots with a solid 8. Even some spots here almost near 10 inches of snow. Her model really likes quite a bit of snow, even into Massachusetts with that back end too. And even up to Maine, almost 11 inches. This has gone up quite a bit. I would like to see if this actually plays out to be proficient. I don't think so. It's going to be exactly like this. The NAM likes it a lot more on the warmer side. And, at this point, I don't know, you guys. The snow line it's making its way in just a little bit. This is about the snow line here. This is about the end of the storm already. And I do think the snow line ain't going to move that much further to the north, you guys, to be honest with you. We're about at 28, 29 degrees. Your snow line is just south of Harrisburg, into Reading. I would say even into Allentown, and then these regions here are snow on the northern and an icy mix. Alright, and when we take a look at, I'm saying an icy mix to the south of Allentown right now. There is, once again, steady snow all the way through Harrisburg, even some heavier back in here. This probably will continue to actually feed into bands here, so it's not going to end as quickly as you think, I don't believe. I think that 1, 2 o'clock is going to happen. We look at 10 o'clock. This is 11 o'clock. It's still snowing. You get some of that back-end precip as that low off the coast really starts to strengthen. And then you look at 12 o'clock. Now you're dealing with more of a precip air clamming type situation. And then boom, 1 o'clock. That continues 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then towards the end, this is when we get towards the end of the storm, as our coastal low looks to be is right around here or here, you guys. And then you get in that onshore breeze throughout there. Alright, keeping an eye on the temperature gauge here. This is Accu's weather. Just give me a quick, brief moment. How is everybody doing on the stream? How is everybody? Let me go quickly do some things here to help the stream out. We're gonna try and add a few more people here to the stream. Just give me 1 second. I'm in the process of working on everything. Let me go quickly change the edits here. I want to change a little bit in the edit of the video. I want to change the title of this. This is that snow. Yeah, it's a little bit interesting in the latest hours. It definitely looks to be some heavier snow bands because some of this freezing rain and ice line is kind of getting a little bit pushed back to the south here in the latest frames here. That's a little bit interesting. Some heavier precip. That could be a thing because when we do get, it's called a cold air damming setup. And this is one of those higher elevations, colder air damming setups. I see what happened here too. Let me quickly fix this. Snowstorm. Let me fix the title here quickly. This is what happens when I kind of rush it. Live cover. Let's go. Live coverage. Oh, 1 second, you guys. I am quickly getting... Oh, come on. This is stupid ad stuff is annoying. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, see, our freezing rain line is already in Lancaster. That I can agree with. The future radar does say some heavier banding will develop and continue to impact. And we kind of see that moisture feed continue. That's going to be something to really watch out for. Latest frame here. Yeah, definitely some heavy snow really starting to show now in some of these latest frames here. I do expect the snow to pick back up. Definitely back in here in Harrisburg. If you're in that northern region, you're definitely getting some heavier snows, even up to Scranton. This is starting to look a little bit more like a nor'easter shape here. It still looks like a frontal end. This is likely going to kind of ride up the East Coast and do something like that. But let me... Snowstorm. First snowstorm in the Northeast. Let me quickly do that. I'm fixing up my title here. I realized I did mess up a little bit. I did not even realize. So let me just quickly fix that up. And then we're continuing. This is live coverage, everybody. So stay tuned. Come on, these stupid ads. This ad thing is annoying. I hate how they made everything the ads. Alright, let me put that in, and then we should be good for the most part. How is everybody doing currently? How is everybody? I'll be looking at the chat in 1 second. I'm just getting that fixed up there. I want this public. It's going to be for my winner. I'm just fixing some details on the video to get a little bit better. I didn't realize some of the stuff ain't completely correct. Alright. Let's do it like that. Let's go back in the studios. We should have it all fixed up. Let me know if everything's good. Yeah, we got a little bit more. Hey, Critty, business and schools are shut down here. Roads are. Oh my goodness, tell me about the roads. The roads are really bad because I just went out there and I'm telling you, when you brake in this type of snow, it's not the best, you guys. I'm telling you, do not drive out of this. I was driving out and it only was about an inch to an inch and a half on the ground. And I'm telling you that it's very slippery. If you go a little bit faster, you can really tell the differences. And I really want everybody to be careful and be safe. So do not drive in this. But there's one thing I'm really noticing on radar now. Some heavy snow really starting to now really develop just south of Allentown and Pottsville State College. If you guys are in this region, some of you guys are going to see that heavier lake thing. But let me quickly look outside quickly on this. Yeah, it's mainly just snowing right now. It's snowing pretty steadily. I'm a little bit to the north. I'm not gonna exactly show you. This is not exactly in these regions here. I mean, into the south of if you're just south of Allentown, it's probably dealing with more of a wintry mix. But it's definitely snowing in areas, and I would really like people to watch out for that. Where are you, Critty? Where are you? Blah, blah, blah. Where are you, my friend? What area? I could kind of give you your forecast. We're kind of keeping a watch. If you guys are in these regions, I'm going to change this because that's not even my, let's go Philly. For an example. Yeah, let's do that. We could kind of then look at this. So, look at that. This is that latest frame on radar here. And it's pretty heavy in some spots, especially to the northern. You're starting to see some of those heavier bands play out. We did have a good band that went through the Allentown regions right here. Watch how that plays out here. We go in the morning. We go about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. We see that go through the Lehigh Valley, Allentown on the south. You get a little bit of a lighter period, but it does look like we're building back some of the heavier banding of snow. It looks like another one is in the development process. While there is a little bit of interesting that we are definitely dealing with heavier precip because we're seeing now Harrisburg and these regions, some spots actually changing back in the snow. That's usually because of cold air damming and a heavy snow, wet snow. And we see it again in the latest frame. And I think that's going to be a saving grace if you're in these regions here. You really are trying to spin out. You see how over time that rain and snow line has chipped away. That's because of some of that heavier precipitation that's cooling down the atmosphere in the upper levels and kind of giving you that thumping of snow. That's going to be very interesting to watch, and that's going to continue to move into these regions and probably drop quite a few more inches of snow. There is something else I'm going to want to look at. I'm not going to show it on here, but give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second with this live coverage, everybody. Live coverage. Snow is coming down in some of these live cameras here. Some heavy snow, actually, especially in the mountains. So there's definitely some heavier snows in these bands, and I think we're about to get a few more inches added on. Maybe the her is right. Maybe the her runs out to be right with that cold air damming. So what is this? So this is called Predictor. Snowfall. Why? I used to have this bookmark. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm going to send it to my Gmail. I'm going to have to send it through my email and somehow get it up on here. Crazy, right? Let me go into here. I am trying to get some snowfall report data for you guys. So, okay, I'm not going to want to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. Alright, good. I did get that up. Now let me do this. Okay, we got it. I do not have a bookmark. We're going to bookmark it right now. Alright, we're going to duplicate tab. Yes. Look at this. Alright, now I can erase this. Okay. It's because it's crashing, I think. I'm actually gonna have this up there. Look at that. Some regions here in Jim Thorpe already got 2 inches. Nazareth recorded 1 inch. If you're in Allentown, you guys are just recording about 1 inch. We're starting to get some inches reports here. I'm expecting that to go up even further. We did have a little bit of a good period here of probably a 3 to 6 inch event that happened in Ohio and Indiana. Right in here, you guys, there was reports of 6 to 7 inches in the Ohio region. So some spots, believe it or not, has overperformed already. I mean, these spots up here were only supposed to get about 2 to 4 inches. These spots got about at least 6, 6.5, 6.6. We even got another 6.5. Even the Delaware Water Gap in Ohio, we did get about 6 to 7 inches, you guys, in these regions here. And this was an overperformer right around here. We got about 2 to 3 more inches than expected. I'm wondering if that's going to show up and happen again today. So far back in the Pittsburgh area, we got about 4.5. There's some indications of maybe 5 inches in some of those regions. So on the higher end of the totals has played out in these regions. I think this is how it's going to be. It's going to kind of split it across. I think we're going to get anywhere from I think my area is going to get about 3 inches by the end of it. 3-4 inches. Yeah, look at that, you guys. Another little bit of a radar frame. And look at that. Some heavier snows in the making here. Just south of Harrisburg. We're starting to build back some of the precipitation back in here. That's going to continue. But look at that. Some of these heavier snow bands. I think is going to really try and develop and drop a few more lucky inches. Massachusetts, it's snowing pretty good right now. Connecticut even. I think this is overperforming in some areas already with the snowfall and the line here. I think the line is a little bit further to the south. I'm keeping an eye on the snowfall there. I'm looking. We're getting some 2-inch reports now back in Central. I'm going to like to see how this continues to play a gap in a way here. Thank you for everybody that's live and covering with me. Pittsburgh, PA. Let me get this. I need to fix. Let me get this on. Did I live coverage first snowstorm in the Northeast? Who will get the most snow? I will go back outside and do another update in the next 20 minutes or so. I am just trying to get this out there for everybody. Live coverage. Live coverage, everybody. We will probably be live most throughout the day here. So I'm not going to go crazy. There's definitely some accumulations happening. I mean, and not going to lie, I mean, look at the latest frame. You're getting into these darker colors. These darker colors are really trying to spill out here. I wonder if that's really going to happen now. Thank you. We have hit 5 likes. Let's hit up to 15 likes today. I think that's a good goal. All right. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. We are currently doing live coverage on this winter storm with we got the radars here. I'm trying to look for some live cameras. This is another radar. We got some HER model data. We got even some snowfall report data that I'm going to keep live with you. Some interesting stuff coming out. Even more, 6.8 there. We definitely had an overperformer event back in the Ohio and Indiana region where we got about 60, even 7. This is no joke, you guys. About 7 inches of snow in some spots. I think by the end of it, we could see about 5, maybe a dot of 6 in the Pittsburgh area. The Lehigh Valley, about an inch or so far. I'm expecting more totals to come in throughout today. I would say in my area right now, a solid 1.5 inches, 2 inches, potentially. I'm going to keep an eye on this. We do have... Yeah, let's go back in here. Let's get out of this. Yeah, look at that. Some of the heavier snowfall is about to really start raining down on these areas, you guys, in these northern regions. Let me just make sure that is happening, though. That's a really good question. Let me go outside and see that. So it's 29 degrees. It's It's snowing pretty good here. Yeah, latest. Oh, that line though. Yeah, conditions continue to worsen, you guys. I'm about at 28 degrees, 29 degrees. It is starting to snow once again, a pretty heavy amount of snow in the area here. That's going to probably give me about an inch an hour, I think. We're probably closing in on 2 inches at least, I would say. Definitely starting to really cover up here. Keep an eye out for that. Any questions? Still under a winter weather advisory. Okay, you're in Pittsburgh. Yep, look at this, you guys. Like I just said, they just put a mesoscale out for wintry mixed precipitation. Very interesting. They have a combining freezing rain, sleet, and heavy snow will persist through the morning and early afternoons in the portions of the Northeast. A column saturated in the precip rates has increased now. This just got posted there. Probably a few thing about a half to about 0.1 about duration of a freezing rain should somewhat limit particular freezing rain and snow. Alright. Heavy snow is expected across the northern regions here. So we do have some heavy precip really starting to show out in these regions. You can definitely tell we got some pretty good rates coming out of here, out of this radar, especially to the south. Even back into here, we got some pretty heavy snow rates coming out of the Williamsport, north of Harrisburg. These regions were really starting to see some of those heavier banding features, and I think that's going to be the kick-up. Yeah, you're still under it. It's about flurries. How much snow did you get, Critty? How much snow do you think you got? Okay, so you got about 3 to 5 inches. Not bad. You were expected to get about 3 to 5 inches. So your forecast did work out pretty well. I'm glad to hear that. If you're a snow lover, I'm glad to hear that. That means this snowstorm is so far planning out in some areas, like I said last night. Could get a little bit more. Yeah, look at the latest frames here in the northern regions. You get that little break. Look at it. Go back a little bit. You got that first band, and then you got a little bit less. You get that second band, and now you're getting into a brand new band of heavier precipitation. And yeah, this just came in the last 10 minutes, I would say. Look at that. Some heavier precipitation heading to the north. And then even back in here, you guys, look at that. Some heavy precipitation is really trying to plan out here. And some steady precipitation. That depends, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, it's snowing pretty good in my area. If that changes over, that's going to completely ruin the vibe that we are having. But it's about 29 degrees. Latest radar continues to show more and more heavy snow making it into the region with that snow line actually being pushed back to the south once again. That's really interesting. Oh, wow. Yeah, Hagerstown. Where is Gettysburg? I just realized. I forgot about that. I want to see if you guys are in any rain or snow. Paradise. That's in Lancaster. Greencastle, PA. Okay, not bad. Mount Pocono's doing good. I'm looking at some of these regions here. Greencastle. Gettysburg. Gettysburg is apparently seeing some heavy snow. And how I'm going to be able to tell that is, I don't think I can really show it, but I might for a hot minute. Gettysburg. Oh, wait. I need to go back in here. Non-stop, man. Keep the reports coming. Yeah, you are right, Critty. In some areas will overperform, man. I'm doing pretty good right now too with this. I'm not complaining. Hey, I'm a snow lover, and I'm going snowboarding in the next week, and I'm looking forward to this because this is stacking it up with some fresh powder on the mountain, with some of their homemade snow, cold weather. This is, if you are a winter lover, December is starting out with a winter bang. Winter is starting out with a bang. It just started 2 days ago. And the Northeast is already seeing our first storm. That's great to hear. Okay. We got a little bit more reports. Just north of Harrisburg, we got now a 2-inch report in Lebanon County. Near the Reading area. This is before it changed over. So I think what we're gonna see is a solid 3 to 4 inches in my area. I'm really starting to believe that. Oh yeah, look at the latest frame, you guys. Whew. That snow line is just in the eastern area. But look at this. Wait. You got some heavier precipitation to the south here that's moving on its north with that cold air damming. We're talking about a little bit heavier snow. This is probably some wintry mix, but if this can kind of keep moving, and then this is Harrisburg. I don't know how true that is down there. That could be a heavy thumping. Gettysburg. I need to look at their live cam. Gettysburg live cam. I'm going to see how are they doing. Hopefully it doesn't play. They're probably in a wintry mix. I guarantee you down here. Gettysburg is close to that line. It's actually a freezing rain. I'm going to be honest with you. Gettysburg got a lot of freezing rain, you guys. I mean, I'm going to show it in here for a hot minute, but look at that. Some of that freezing rain right through here on the trees. I'm not going to show any more. But some freezing rain that has accumulated in the Gettysburg. Gettysburg is about in southern PA where there's apparently a heavier snow. I think for this heavier precipitation, it's going to be in some spots. But some heavy freezing rain right now playing a part. But if that's no... I think, once again, this could be elevation. So, where this is heavy precipitation in the valleys and the lower elevations, it's going to be that wintry mix, freezing rain. They were expecting it to change over the rain, but there is definitely icicles that has developed on the bird feeder and stuff. So, it's quite a bit warm here in those regions. Let me quickly update this. Now I'm going to go back in here. We're going to go, let's see this. How is this bird feeder? Oh, wow. This is bird feeder. This is somewhere in PA. They got quite a bit of snow. Look at that. The heavy snow bands are continuing to develop. We're starting to see that addition precip to continue now. Like I told you guys. Hey, that model was pretty much right. New York, even New York, that line is pretty far south. I mean, Connecticut. I think some of these regions are waking up from looking at the rain and being like, whoa. Even in Massachusetts so far, pretty good. We're going to continue to see that develop. Temperatures are trying to go up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to go up too much in these regions here. Let me re-update that. Let's go into the latest HER model. The 14Z is coming out. And yeah, you could definitely see some of these regions reporting now 1 to 2 inches across these regions. Already back in here, already snowed. But definitely some heavier precipitation really trying to make its way in. Let's look at the latest similar radar here. This is now for the 10 o'clock. When we take a look at the 13Z to the 14Z, yeah, that snow line is about the same here, a little bit further north. I'm not surprised on that. I think that was a little bit, but look at that. Your wintry mix, and then, oh, that gets right on the borderline again, you guys. But it's still showing it, and you're seeing precip around 3 p.m. potentially. So, very interesting stuff. I would like to see how this continues to play a total in here. Let's go into total snow here on Courage. Yeah, it's a little bit further north. We got the heavier. We now got even up to 7 inches. Once again, still in these areas in the Poconos. These regions, another maybe 3 inches potentially. That's Courage. I think that's a good one to go by. I don't think we're going to have 10-to-1 ratios. But 10-to-1 ratios, if it was all snow, especially through the northern regions, could get up to maybe 4 more inches. Let me go quickly back in here. I need to get back to my live stream. Keep it on a track. How's everybody doing? Yeah, snowboarders, share also. Yep, look at that, you guys. That snow line has made it. It actually has moved a little bit. But look at some of that heavier snow making it in now. That snow could actually move pretty far north. We're dealing with a steady snow. But look at that. Some of this precip is building back here. Pretty interesting back in the Harrisburg area. I'm going to like to see how this continues. Some heavier snow precipitation now. Really starting to rain down in these areas. Gettysburg is around 32 degrees. It has also dropped quite a bit. My area is still at 29. Yep, some heavier snow making its way in. One second. Why? You tell me some money? You know, but you say it's going to be raining. Overnight, obviously, not that. Right on, exactly at 1:30. Yeah, man. We're at 2 inches. Alright, so right now I just did a snow forecast. I just did a quick snow update. We have a solid 2 inches of snow on the ground, and it's still snowing pretty heavy. Like I said, I think 3-4 inches is going to be the outcome here. And I made a forecast for let me show you guys my snow forecast. I put the Lehigh Valley in 3 to 5 inches when we're at 2 inches right now. It's still snowing. Harrisburg, also 3 to 5. 5 to 8 in the Poconos. I think this was a great snow forecast. If anything, I would have moved probably this 1 inch line probably all the way up to that blue line, and then this blue line all the way up to there. But if you guys are in the northern Lehigh Valley, we have now reported about 2 to almost 2.5 inches in some areas. I'm actually going to do I'm going to make a quick short on this. Let me quickly do this. I need to do... Oh, yeah. We definitely got 2 inches. There's actually, 2 inches. Even back in Harrisburg got about 2, almost 3 inches so far. There's a 2.3 in Sunbury. Back in Pennsylvania, we got even now some steady 2 to 4 inches there. So in my region, you guys, we're at about a solid 2 inches. I'm going to do another update in just a moment. I'm quickly looking at the radar and stuff. I'm kind of trying to keep an eye on the radar. It's really moving slow, and I don't know why right now. It's annoying. Yeah. Harrisburg is still precipitation. Look at that, you guys. This precip is likely to build back here in some parts here. As this precip continues to move, this is likely gonna kind of push back in here a little bit. Or slow down just a little bit and keep that precipitation going a little longer. It's snowing pretty good here, I'm telling you. Probably in Bath it's snowing too. It's definitely accumulating just a bit. Let's keep that going. Yeah, it's snowing heavy in my area now. We're talking about some pretty heavy snowfall totals coming down here. We're hoping for more. This radar sucks. I hate how everything has now ads and everything. It's so annoying, in my opinion. But look at that. In some of these regions, we're still building it up. Some pretty heavy snowfall totals and rates for at least the next couple hours, I think is going to be the outcome here. I'm very interested. We're probably getting close to almost a half an inch an hour in some locations in my area. Maybe getting closer to that inch an hour. It definitely has covered the regions here. So keep that in mind. How is everybody doing already this afternoon here? Let's go back into here. I don't know why it's being so slow. let's go into these regions here. Let's update this. I don't know why it's moving very slow. Yep, look at that. Some of these heavier precipitations coming in here. Even parts of the Allentown areas. So this is some very heavy correlation. Yep, there it is, you guys. You can see our freezing rain and our wintry mix line is actually a bit south here. You see it on the correlation here in Lancaster on south. You see how this is showing up like in tornado signature. You'll see the atmosphere. This is where our freezing and snow line is. Up in Allentown's actually snowing. Bath, Easton even, starting to Lancaster. These regions are doing pretty good under that snow. You can tell where wintry mix is at. You got your rain down here, and then you got your snow up in here. That's actually falling pretty well. You can see that on very good correlation. So some of this latest framing is a little bit interesting. Some pretty heavy precipitations about to a good band here. At least a good band feature is going to develop. Some steady snow, but look at that. Some of that heavier precipitation on that northern side is going to continue to fall. And then we take a look back in central Pennsylvania. You're still snowing pretty good in Harrisburg, Chambersburg. You're talking about some pretty heavy snow. This nor'easter's going like this, so your precipitation is going to really start moving in like this and slowly get out of the area in the next coming little bit. So some good precipitations falling. We got the temperatures. We got the heavier snow banding definitely showing up here, even on the AccuWeather. We're really dealing with that heavier snowfall. Yeah, look at that. This is another banding feature. Look at that. Some heavier precipitation. That snow line is starting to move a little bit south. It's still moving north in the rain. That wintry mix is starting to get out of the way. And then, boom, you can see that heavier precipitation. More coming in behind it in the Harrisburg area. This is going to continue to move up like this. Because once this low can kind of get out ahead of this is going to start moving north in a race, in a heartbeat. It's not bad, you guys. It's really not that bad right now. If you guys, the forecast is not too bad. Most of the areas are playing out exactly like it should. And yeah, I think there's going to be some spots that overachieve just a little bit. In some spots, I do believe. I mean, we're getting some more reports out of the Harrisburg 2.1 inches out of the Harrisburg regions. It's moderate to heavy snow is definitely happening. These are some of the remarks. Mix of sleet and snow still falling. This was remarks. This was about moderate snow. Temps around. Roads are generally snow covered in the Lehighton area. This is where I think south of Lehighton is where that wintry mix is. This was about an elevation of 407 feet. So not bad there. It's not terrible, you guys. This is really not that bad of a snow line. Even into Connecticut, Massachusetts. It's so far pretty much playing out pretty good, even at 11, 12 o'clock. I think Hartford, you guys are going to get a few more inches than expected. Then it's going to slowly but change over throughout the timing. But this nor'easter will be about around here. We're going to see how quickly can a low develop. And I think that's already starting to show here. But how quickly can it develop will help to produce that snow more likely. We're going to have to wait and see. Let me just quickly do a live camera check update. Yeah, it's snowing pretty heavy across the Lehigh Valley and Blue Mountain regions here. Pretty heavy snowfall. I think we can end up with about 4 to 5. I think 3 to 4 inches is going to be the best estimate. I'm going to go back outside, show you guys some measurements. We got another one in Lehighton, 1.6. That was a little bit before. I will be back in just a minute. Okay, in about a minute. I hope this is gonna work here. I'll be back in just a minute. I'm gonna make another short. Oh. Alright, I did do that. My bad for the wait. Look at this, you guys. I'm just looking. There's now some spots reading about almost 2 inches and a quarter, almost 2 inches and a half. And the snowfall's getting heavier. And in that very fluffy pattern too. So my phone is not working right. Alright, latest radar. This has a 1010. I need to update that too. I don't know why. Alright, I am... Alright, very interesting. It's pretty heavy snow solid there. This is the latest... Yeah, it's snowing pretty steadily there. Some heavier snow bands moving on in. We're continuing to slowly get the areas out there. Alright, let me quickly look into here. Let's see how this is doing. We're gonna update it there. Let's go to that. Live coverage. Look at that. Some pretty heavy snow still falling in these regions. Alright. I don't know why this is going a little bit slower. I'm going to take out some of these here. Alright. Alright, so I just posted a short on the conditions in my area. What is going on over here? They're just updating some of the winter weather advisories. Yeah, look at some of this precip. A good band that's going through neutral right there. That's going to be heading on this way with some pretty heavy snow. Pretty solid snow even behind that. It's snowing pretty damn heavy here in the latest frames. Look at that. Going through the Allentown region. We're about to get some pretty good snowfall. And it's continuing to look pretty solid here in the regions. Let's go into correlation here. It's still south, you guys. Just south of Allentown is the freezing rain line. And the New York and stuff. That's a good heavy band of snow. That's probably going to help the drop just a bit more. Even back in Harrisburg, it's still snowing very heavy with your snowfall rates. Hamburg, even back in here, it's still holding on quite a bit. In Hagerstown, some pretty solid snow. This is going to be a solid back end as this nor'easter continues to pivot the northeast. It's a good
the population will surge again. My power will crossplay. Now available.
This is not updating as quickly. It's annoying. Yeah, no problem for the coverage, everybody. No problem. Yeah, look at that. Nice heavy snow band about to be going over the areas in my area. I'm about to see how that plays out. And then a few more snow bands still coming. The storm is not kind of moving anymore like that. It's now, you're starting to see it's starting to move from south to north. So that's going to help that potential, that heavier snow to continue to fall here. We're not seeing it move out that quickly. Like in central Pennsylvania, you're getting to the end of it now. You still got some pretty heavy precipitation and actually building back just a little bit back in here. I'm going to like to see how this continues to play out. This is by 11 a.m. Harrisburg is still in it. 12 o'clock, Harrisburg. Ooh, it's looking ugly there. 1 o'clock, it tries to build back. 2 o'clock, still there. 3, it really wants to try and push it to 4. I think mid-afternoon will be the likely where this will go. Some of these regions have gotten some pretty good snow. I'm starting to see some 5-inch reports back in the Pittsburgh area. Solid on the upper end here, even into central Pennsylvania. I think this is going to be a very interesting setup. I think some of these regions in the Poconos could definitely see about like 6 inches of snow at some spots here, especially in the higher elevations. I do believe that's a good band of snow, though. I'm telling you, that's a really good band of some heavy snow falling. I mean, even back in here, you can even see some yellows. I mean, look at that. That's a nasty band right there. How is the Gettysburg area? I want to quickly look at that. I want to see if it's snowing there yet, if it is, or not. Gettysburg is a little bit back in here. Yeah, Gettysburg is around there. And, yeah, looks like it's still some solid freezing rain, to be honest with you. Some solid freezing rain still falling. But it's not bad in Harrisburg. I mean, this is about, you know, some pretty good precipitation really trying to fall here. Let's go into new tab here. Blue Mountain live camera. Yeah, it's snowing heavy in my backyard. Yeah, but look at that. That's about to be going through the Allentown area. And look at that. Some more heavier precip bands. And then I do want to look at that. Let's just make sure. Yeah, correlation's in this heavier down here. I don't see that kind of making its way into those regions. Let's go back in here. Let's do this. All right, we doing good on this live stream. Snowing. From Harrisburg, snow pretty good. How much did you guys get? How much? How much snow in Harrisburg? Let's see. How much snow in Harrisburg? So far, we're getting no complaints that this was a bust. So far, we're doing good. People are pretty filled in with this. Harrisburg probably... How is it actually there? Snowing. It's snowing pretty good in Harrisburg. Oh, wow, I did not know that. They added this. Look at that. We can kind of see the snow. Look at that band going over into the areas here in Nazareth, Allentown. That's actually a pretty good radar. Yeah, look at that. Even Harrisburg apparently has you guys in that thing, but how much? I'm pretty curious. Still got some pretty solid snow. Looks in the matters here. I'm very interesting. Visibility's going down, so it's definitely a good snow band. Feels like 23 is cold. Oh yeah, that's a look at some heavy snow banding there. Oh, look at that. Some yellows really starting to show up on that back end. It's a good snow band, I'm telling you. I'll be back in 1 second. Snow's coming down, everybody. Pretty good sizable snowflakes, too. It's a good snow band. It has weakened some bit, though, the snow band. It's still there. It's not fully in here, but it's snowing steady, you guys. It's snowing pretty good, even back in Harrisburg still. And you got that back end still playing a big role. You got quite a bit of time. You got a bit of time, you guys. At least another hour at the bare minimum. If I am heavy rain, we're in the storm. I'm also having rain. Okay, I'm in the middle of it right now. I'm also having rain. Weather Kingdom, if I'm having rain, we're in. Hello, how are you? Yeah, look at that. Let's keep it going here. Let's go back into here. Let's make sure nothing has updated in the snowfall totals. We're getting... Oh, wait. No, not yet. I saw the 5.8, you guys. Yeah, we're starting to see some 5-inch reports come out of Western Pennsylvania. We might see some... Wait. Yeah, some 5-inch reports. Very interesting. You're in the Long Island area, right? Oh, you're in. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're in Virginia. Hey, it's raining pretty good in Virginia right now. You're in a steady rain here. That rain should continue throughout the day, most likely lighten up later in the day tonight. If you're in the snow, though, I mean, you're loving it. In the latest frames, it's definitely showing some pretty good snow. That back end is kind of starting to stall a little bit. That's telling me that we're going to continue to add a few extra inches of that snowfall. And it's snowing pretty damn heavy, you guys. I'm telling you, it's not some light snow. I mean, my region is really dealing with that snow, and I'm pretty impressed with this. That snow band is kind of going over the area right now, going back into here. It just looks pretty good. We're continuing to build that band, still only... Yep, I think there's going to be some overperformers, you guys. I mean, these bands are definitely developing pretty damn good. Back in Massachusetts, where my cousin is in these areas, and they're saying it was supposed to be 34 with that rain line. That rain line is really far to the south, you guys. It has not done much better. Look at that. I'm going to like to update that. Let's go into weather.gov. No new reports. I'm going to do a measurement update after that band goes through. That I can kind of see what we're looking at. I think we're probably going to be almost at 3 inches. It's snowing very heavy right now outside. Very good banding. I'm not complaining. I'm telling you, if you're a weather lover, don't complain. Yeah, look at that. You can tell on the correlation where that freezing rain line is. Still to the south, you guys. Even back in here, it's really not too much of an issue as of this given time. We still got those banding here. We got this band going through some pretty heavy, steady, heavy, wet, solid snow. I'm going to tell you this right now. Here's an update. It's about 2 inches of snow on the ground. It's snowing heavily, some heavy snow banding, and I'll keep you guys updated on the total snow at the end. Yep, coming down pretty heavy right now, you guys. Yep, it's snowing pretty good right now. You guys can't complain. Also, I'm noticing the flakes are getting fatter. That's actually really good. That's going to help to keep the air temperature pretty chilly throughout the area. We are going to be getting a brand new weather person here. Let me just quickly. We are going to be having a guest that's from the Northeast coming in here in just a moment. I'm giving this a second. Look at that. Some heavy snow bands, you guys. I'm telling you. I think this storm has played out pretty good if you're asking me, if you're a snow lover. Even up in Massachusetts right now, snowing pretty good in some of these snow bands. Massachusetts, Connecticut's doing pretty good. This is likely going to change over as this nor'easter continues to pull, but so far some pretty good totals. You're getting in some of these heavier snow bands where you're getting some higher elevations to the south, probably a wintry mix instead of just that plain old rain. The flakes are very big, I'm noticing, if you're in the areas up here. So that's going to help to add on that snowfall just a little bit more of that wet snow that's going to start accumulating now. And that could definitely produce quite a bit. So, if you guys are tuning into the live stream, we are currently just taking a look at everything going on. We have a lot going on. I'm posting updates. We're doing it every way possible. Live major coverage on this snowstorm, for sure. Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
So we woke up, and I think, like we were saying yesterday, is starting to play out pretty well. There is some indications that I think the model's kind of missed at looking at the morning, and I think the snow line actually has stayed pretty far to the south than expected. Would you agree on that?
Let me look.
Because in Massachusetts, temperatures are holding very cold. Boston actually might start out with snow. Connecticut, Hartford's been in snow in this wintry mix here. New York, that snow line is pretty close. My region has been seeing some very heavy, wet snow this morning. And I would say we are, oh wow. The flakes are very big right now in my region. About an hour ago, we were about at 2 inches in my backyard. Guarantee you, if I go outside, we're probably closing in on 3 to 3.5 inches. And I said, with my snowfall forecast, remember, I said that 3 to 5 for the Allentown on north. I think you are right. I probably should have pushed that 1 inch, at least up to about here, and then that 1 to 2. And then I think I would have pushed that inch here and then keep this 3 to 5. I think this 5 to 8 is playing out very well, what I'm seeing and hearing about. I got some people up in Mass that I'm hearing from, and some of these areas that are a bit surprised waking up to the amount of snow. I had a few people on the stream talking about Harrisburg and Lancaster, and they have gotten about almost 4 or 5 inches in Pittsburgh, and it's still snowing there. So I think this has overall been a very great forecast, and I think we have done very well. And I want to ask you this. I think there's definitely that overperforming shot in some areas, because let me quickly update this. I'm going to get a little bit more. I thought this was maybe a glitch, but there was a 3 to 6. A solid 6-inch amount in Ohio, where they were only expecting 2 to 4, like in Columbia. Also back in Indiana, to the east of Indianapolis. Look, 6.8, 6 inches, 6.6, 6 inches, quite a few sixes here, almost 7 inches back in these regions in Ohio and Indiana. I know these areas were calling for 2 to 4, but there was an overperform spot in Indiana and Ohio, about a few inches. Would you say that's pretty good so far?
Yes, I 100% yes.
I do think there's also back in the Pittsburgh, what I'm seeing here with the reports, a solid, 4.5 to 5.5 inches, almost some 6-inch readings outside of Pittsburgh. I wouldn't be surprised in the future we get a few sixes, especially going into the west. I think what I'm going to see is the Poconos are going to get a solid 6 inches. I think the Poconos, I think northern New Jersey, these are a little bit outdated. Hazleton came in, near Hazleton was about 1050, and they were about at 3.5 inches. So I'm wondering if now the Poconos are about at 3 to 4 inches. I'm going to like to see that. These 1 to 2 inches were a bit earlier, about 2 hours earlier. So I think a solid 3 inches has fallen in some of these eastern Pennsylvania. Still snowing very heavily. I'm wondering how Connecticut and Mass. I think the herd also has trended a bit from last night. What we have seen. Let me get the latest 15Z.
15Z, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, that snow line has moved quite a bit to the south. And I think what some of the models are showing, the southern solution has played out pretty well here. I think this is played out pretty well in these regions. 14Z was like this. And then we saw that snow line much more to the south here than what we were talking about last night. And I did say I wouldn't be surprised waking up seeing that a little bit further to the south. We knew this wasn't a 995 quarter storm, but we did know that this was going to be an I-78 storm. I think I-78 on north, I think we kind of nailed it with that. It is snowing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking outside, and it is snowing very heavy outside of my house, and it's been snowing like that for at least an hour since I checked the snowfall totals. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm nearing 3 to almost 3.5 inches in some spots, especially in the Blue Mountain Ridgeline, and there's still heavy snowfall to come. So I'm wondering if I think I'm going to end up with about 3 to 4 inches outside my backyard, and I said for my backyard about 3 to 5 inches. So I think I've nailed it on some areas. I would have pushed the snowfall a little bit to the north and just south of Allentown. I think because there's been some mixing issues, like always. I think I would have probably moved that just a tad bit north. But we did see some inch reports back in York and these areas here. We did see an inch. So, yeah, it's going to get washed away by some wintry weather. But I think overall, I think this has been doing pretty good. I think I could have actually pushed it a little bit to the south and east on the New England area. Hartford, I think, is a good call. I think Mass could have been a little bit nudged to the south with the snowfall forecast. But this has played out in a pretty good way if you're a snow lover. Would you agree?
Snow lover, you'll love this system.
Yeah, and this is a good December system to start out the year, and I'm not complaining. I've gotten about almost 4 inches in total for the whole year so far, and we're only in December 2nd. Last year, I didn't get my first 4 inches of snow into mid-January. So I'm not complaining. I'm taking it an early. All right. We did get a comment from Ray Burbitt. We have 2 inches at this time in Burlington, Vermont. Driving is extremely slippery. State and local police are incredible busy. When we take a look at Vermont, it's snowing pretty good up in Mass, in the Vermont area. I think there's going to be some overperformers. And there's some pretty solid snow still to go if you're in eastern Pennsylvania. And you have to also remember, this is now turning into more of a nor'easter instead of a front. So you're going to not see this ending snow line to move as quickly as people think. What's going to happen as the low is developing off the coast, we're going to get some precip to kind of stay in. We're going to kind of develop a line for a few hours where I think this is going to be the general line, maybe a little bit more in the Harrisburg where it's kind of going to set up, and then we're going to see more of a northern, south to northern movement as this low continues to move up the coast. And I think that's when your snow line could try and move a little bit to the north. Right now, it's been steady. Staying just south of Reading, just, once again, I-78 on south is your wintry line that has developed. I think this is a solid snowstorm. And, you know, in the Mount Pocono, Scranton, I think you're going to get your potential 6-7 inches of snowfall. I don't think you're going to see 8. I think that's going to be a little bit too far to the south, but you actually start seeing it here. You're seeing your snow line slow down. You're seeing the end lines here slowing down, especially back in here, and I think we're going to start seeing some precip build back a little bit in here before this continues to move out. But, I mean, you're getting some pretty good snowfall banding in Harrisburg still. You guys are almost on the edge. I think that's going to kind of slow down there also. It's going to be a little bit. We're about at 11. It's snowing very heavy in my area. We are getting some readings on, according to weather.gov, with some snowfall. We're seeing about, 2-3 inches already being reported. This was 10:51, so about a little bit ago. I think we're going to get a little bit lucky, I think. A solid 4 to 5 inches where I put the 3 to 5.
I'm looking at radar right now, Weather Kingdom, and I'm seeing a little bit of a heavier band setting up south of Rochester, New York right now. Up there near just southeast of Buffalo. You see what I'm saying?
Let me look. Rochester. Yep, that's a pretty good band right there. Yeah, right there in the snow. Yeah, look at that. Pretty good banding right there. You got pretty good snowfall rates probably. Let's go back into Burlington, even upstate New York. Look at this steady snow, even for the Allentown regions. Back in Harrisburg, you're still snowing pretty steadily. I mean, some of the, I think some of this precip is already starting to build back in here, like I was saying. So, we still got quite a few hours. If you're in Pennsylvania, northern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, you still got into 3-4 o'clock. I think it's going to be mid-afternoon until this kind of moves out or starts to end. You got solid snow in Allentown on north. How we can tell where the line is right here on correlation is, look, where that wintry mix is developed, where that wintry mix line is about in these regions on south. But on this northern side, you're in steady snow, you guys. Yeah, and that, I'm pretty sure Lancaster, I'm wondering the conditions there, Harrisburg, these regions, northern New Jersey, Yonkers, even up into Mass, and up in here in Long Island.
Yeah.
You're seeing your snow line kind of develop in just south of Hartford right here, Danbury. You can tell where that is, and then you can tell where the snow is. All right? You can tell where that line is kind of setting up, even back in the Mass here. You got some pretty heavy, steady snow. Boston, you're raining now, according to this. Like you said, in Rochester, you're snowing pretty good. Up in Vermont, you're snowing pretty good also. Maine, I think you guys are going to get a pretty heavy dose of snow. I think this is really going to play out in a pretty solid way. I think there's going to be a solid beginning snowstorm for the Northeast, honestly.
Yeah.
You got some heavier snow bands across here still. I think this is going to continue for the next couple hours. Let's quickly update that. Any reports? Let me look at this. Let's look at the radar there. pretty interesting. Let's look
There's
at
a lot. There's a big band of heavy snowfall here across portions of Maine there too, across just east of
up in here.
Augusta and Lewiston, Maine. All
Yep,
those
I
areas.
see that right here in Lewiston. You have some
Yeah.
pretty good banding back in these regions. Yeah, what is that snow line?
I wonder if that's picking up some of the moisture. I mean, it's picking up moisture, but if it's picking up some of that, what the HERM model is trying to put on some onshore push here from the waters here, if that's feeding into some of that narrow band.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that probably is because we did have that happen near Boston this morning. We had an ocean band of snow, a feeder band into this. I think that's also, ooh, look at that in the latest frame. Some heavier snow back in Harrisburg continues. Definitely some good banding in here in these regions. I'm wondering how it is right. Let me quickly look at Blue Mountain. I'm not going to show it on the camera on the live stream, but I do have a camera right around here. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's snowing pretty steadily, pretty heavy. Still outside. I mean, Blue Mountain's a little bit further to the north of me, about like 15 minutes, but pretty close.
Yeah.
Look at that steady snow band still. I mean, we're going to continue to see this, at least steady snow at the bare minimum. I'm really wondering what's the latest snowfall totals, but I'm going to have to wait and see. I'm going to quickly go check outside myself. In a minute. I want to see if any more reports came in. All right, interesting. We got a 6-inch report up in New York now. Upstate New York. Right here, we got a 6-inch, and that probably ain't that bad because we got some 4-inch, 3 to 4 inches around it. So that could definitely be up in northern New York, just out the Rochester, where that banding is kind of. You're starting to get some pretty good, even 4 inches up in the mountains here. I think this could be an overperform, at least close to an overperformer in some areas.
Yeah.
But,
is that a 6 to 8 right there?
Where?
Talk in New York. See that?
In Erie? That's like 6.9. I don't know if I can completely, that could be right. I don't know if that's fully right. I wouldn't be surprised if that's right. We got some more 6-inch reports back in there. Steadily. Okay, we actually had some coatings down here and some dustings. I think my snowfall forecast actually wasn't that bad then. I could have probably nudged it a little bit, but overall, I think it played out pretty well with all the adding up with the model data. Okay. Hey, Weather Kingdom, here in Frederick, Maryland, got around 2 inches snow and melted with the ice. Damn. Sorry to hear that. Maryland, yeah, you kind of change over. You actually got 2 inches.
Lord had that air come in. It melted some of the ice and snow there.
Oh, that sucks. Hey, you got 2 inches. Don't complain. I mean, yeah, we kind of expected to change over, but then I guess my forecast was pretty nailed on. I said 1 to 2 inches.
Yeah.
So I guess I nailed it pretty well. Still snowing pretty heavy. Yeah, look at that. It's still snowing very heavy. Let's look at some of these rates here. You can tell where that... What did you say? All right.
Yeah, I'm back.
No, you good. You good. Let me go quickly check outside, get a little update of snowfall forecast. I'm gonna leave the radar playing here. If you could talk if you want about some areas you believe, because I'm gonna have the radar here. I'll be back in like 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay. All right, so guys, we are tracking this nor'easter that is hitting the northeast United States right now. What I can look by looking at the radar currently, I am keeping my eye on that north of New York City here for the narrow band of heavy snowfall. We could we could get an over performance here across, I would say, from Scranton down to Allentown and up toward portions of Danbury, Connecticut. That is going to be my area where I'm going to be keeping an eye on the snowfall totals throughout the day. If we get any snowfall accumulation, if we get a heavy banding of snow starts to set up across, Scranton to Danbury, that would probably be an overperformance kind of deal with this nor'easter. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. And then there's a heavy banding of snow setting up in the interior New York area and interior New York, northeast, and the northeast. We've got Binghamton, New York, Etalkin, New York. We've got a narrow band of heavy snowfall starting to interact with some of the warm air that's coming in, but this is all cold air, so you've got pretty good solid a pretty good solid banding of heavy snowfall. So if you got any questions, y'all can ask. I can answer some questions if y'all want me to, about y'all's towns and everything like that. So oh, and also by looking at the new model data that's coming in, I'm also looking at the nail model for the Pacific Northwest. There is a system that's coming in. There's a little bit of that could come in tomorrow across the Denver area. So I know we're focused on this nor'easter right now, and but Denver could get at least a 1 to 3 inch swath of snowfall tomorrow into Thursday morning. So something to keep an eye on there. Denver's only got 0.1 inches of snow already this year. 0.2 inches of snow. But I think they're going to get more snow as we head into tomorrow, into Thursday morning. And then we're watching some other systems that could come in late this week into next week. But that's too far out to tell right now what's going to happen with that. But what I can tell you is that the cold air that's in place right now, we've definitely got a pretty good solid pattern that we're going to head into with a very snowy and a very cold air mass that's going to start to come into portions of the Midwest and the Northeast. How far south does that go? It's very uncertain right now. But what I can say is that if you're in Oklahoma, Texas, portions of North Texas, into Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, all the way up into the Northeast, please keep an eye on the weather pattern that's coming up, because we could be dealing with some winter mischief that's coming our way. So definitely something to keep an eye on. So if you got any questions, I can answer them real quick. And also, I want some reports too, y'all. Give me some reports so I can translate those to Weather Kingdom here when he comes back.
All right, I'm back. I got some
Alrighty.
snowfall. Yeah, that was nice as it was.
What did you get? How much snow did you get?
We are at 3 inches of snow,
There you go.
still snowing. So I think it's going to end around 3.5, 4 inches.
Yeah. Wait, I was keeping an eye on that snow band near Allentown right now, because Is there a little bit? I mean, I'm looking on radar. There could be a little bit of sleep pellets starting to mix into that right now, currently.
And
If the
out
radar
there.
is.
All right, let me go quickly look at that. Right now in my area, I'm north of that by a bit, but
Yeah.
we could probably look at that on here. It could be starting to a little bit. That there's nothing. I said this is where the heavier precip is, the heavier readings we're getting is wintry mix. Steady snow across Allentown on north. It could be starting to sleet a little bit in the areas there. I wouldn't be
Yeah, it could
surprised.
cut totals.
What?
I said it could cut it, some of these totals.
I mean, they were Allentown. This snow line was expected to go up to the I-78, so I'm not surprised, to be honest. But it is holding off pretty good. Harrisburg, you're on the edge now. You're starting to quiet down a little bit of this snow line. I'm interested on how this is going to continue to play out.
Yeah, I think the snow is about to get out of Harrisburg here in about 30 minutes to an hour, maybe 2 hours or so.
Yeah,
It's
slowly. It's trying to hang on as much as it could. It's really trying to slowly stay on. Yeah, it looks like that. You know, if you look now back in Hamburg, yeah, Allentown definitely could be sleeting now. Easton, okay, it wants to have that ice line now, getting up to potentially lower Sucken, Easton, maybe Hainesville Township, Allentown, Emmis, Coopsburg, probably starting to mix a little bit with some of that sleet and freezing rain. There was an interesting thing back in Greensburg here. There was quite a bit of freezing rain. Because when you looked on the live camera, you could actually see a good 1/10 of an inch of ice across southern Pennsylvania.
That's not good. I've heard that there was hundreds of crashes going on across the Northeast right now due to the nor'easter that's ongoing with the one we're doing live coverage on, guys. So if you're anywhere out in the Northeast, please be careful out in the system, because just because this may not seem like a big storm or not, the storm can cause big problems, even though it's, it can be rainy, it can be snowy, you get some sleet and ice mixed into it. You can still have crashes, and there still could be people out there, just please slow down on the roads if you're out there traveling, because you could go a few miles to your north and you're in some heavy bursts of snowfall and you won't know it, and then boom, you crash, and then stuff will happen. And I just want y'all to be safe out there. So if you're out in the Northeast, anywhere in the heavy snowfall and in the rainfall, if you're in Philly and New York, up toward Boston, please keep an eye on this.
Yeah, look at Scranton. This back end has it's really slowed down quite a bit in the frames. It has slowed down significantly. That's probably because we're starting to get that coastal low developing, so it's kind of not. It's not more because what it looked like earlier, and it kind of still does. It's a little bit of a frontal. Like it looks like it's hanging on with the jet stream here, but there is signs of some lows trying to develop along it. So it's kind of going to start pushing back some of the moisture and keeping that snow line. I would say it'll probably end up being around in this region where it's going to be the ending line, and then it's going to have a little bit of trouble because I don't think it's just going to keep the ending line ain't just going to keep moving in this direction just throughout the whole storm. That's not the system we're in. It's going to gradually keep moving the precipitation from south to north here in the next coming hours, because when we look at future radar, it also, if we look at 11 a.m., look at Harrisburg, it kind of, like I said, it makes it into just south of Harrisburg. We look at 1 o'clock, and it actually tries to go, it kind of stays steady around Harrisburg, the snow line and the ending line. Oh, you're good. And then even 2 p.m., it's still hanging on. And then by 3 p.m., you start getting that transition. Look at that nor'easter look. you're starting to build that thing. And then definitely by 4, you're starting to crank out some of the precip. And then by 5 p.m., this is definitely a low pressure just south of New York and Long Island. You're getting that cranking motion going on. How quickly does that happen will determine on how long the precip will stay. Right now, it's holding pretty steady back in Harrisburg. It's holding steady. It's trying to hang on. It's kind of moving, and it's not moving just from west to east here. It's moving from like a southwest to northeast here, a northeast motion, and moving very slowly with some pretty steady snowfall across these regions to the north. Let me quickly look at something here. All right.
Wait, I'm back. Sorry, I had to keep my dog from barking and. Okay. Sorry, y'all, if y'all heard the barking. My dog was going crazy. Just rehearsed a bit.
Alright. Oh, oops, there's an ad. I hate when it does that. The stupid ad crap.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Have you seen the latest NAM model, Weather Kingdom?
I'm not really going with the NAM.
Wow. That's, I mean, by looking at it, I mean, look at Friday.
What do you mean,
I know
Friday?
Like, look at what it's trying to put out. Like, as there's a storm system that tries to develop on Thursday night to Friday morning.
On the NAM? Oh, no. Okay. I see that.
Yeah.
No, don't do it. Okay. I will be surprised if that happens. I'm not fully agreeing on it yet because my models kind of have a southern mover. It could try, but the pattern going into the future just looks nothing but amazing. I'm not complaining at all. I mean, it stays very cold. The Euro tries to show southern snow too, but that means very cold air. GFS is coming out. Let's see what it's thinking. That nor'easter, yeah, look at it. It continues to deepen. Yeah. And then look at that. Okay, it tries and show something. It's a little bit more south on this run. Oh, no. Whoa, okay. Don't believe that, you guys. The GFS does this nor'easter down in North Carolina. And
holy cow.
That's oh my goodness. Going to December 10th. Look how cold it's looking for the Northeast and everywhere. This just looks amazing. You just get shot after shot of cold air. So if you have snow on the ground, this snow will likely stay on the ground. Your daytime highs will have trouble getting out of the 30s. And with the sun angle this time of year, it's not too good of melting snow. So if you get quite a bit of snow, you're going to have that snow on the ground for quite a few, probably all throughout December. You might stay as a white Christmas, depending.
Yeah.
And if you get some more snow added on, that's just going to help. When it does get a little bit warmer, it's just going to help to keep that snow on the ground. Southeast New Hampshire, guys, here seeing about an inch where I'm at. Nice. Thank you for the update. Thank you.
Thank you for the update.
I love it when we get some updates here out of different areas. It kind of gives us a ground report of what's going on here. I mean, latest frames, it's really starting to hold down now, that ending line. It's not really... I need to see here. Oh, wow. I'm doing good on that. Right there. Thank you guys for checking out my updates. We are at 760 views on the short that I made of the backyard. We also have another one with another update. Please go check out that too. please check out my channel. Feel free. I'm trying to I'm doing the live stream, but I'm also giving you guys some snowfall updates back in my yard that I can kind of keep you guys updated. But look at this. That snow line continuing to slow down. Looking like some precip is trying to build back already. And some pretty steady snow continues. So, we'll have to wait. Let me just quickly go do something. What?
Okay, yeah, so while he's gone, I'm looking at the longer range data. It looks like this is a pattern that we're heading into right now, that we're going to be really cold throughout the United States. I can't rule out a few snowstorms or two across the interior Northeast. I'm keeping an eye on if I can go to this. The European model really shows
I got an update. It's freezing rain / a wintry mix now in my backyard. I don't know.
So right, I was right about that.
It's actually starting to freezing rain. It's actually pretty much freezing rain right now, happening, and pretty steady freezing rain. And you could tell because it's starting to get that glaze on the snow. So that means the snowfall might have ended around 3 inches in my area. I don't know. We'll have to wait.
Yeah.
I can show you. Oh, wow. I'm going to see if that snow does transition back a little bit. Oh, okay. We got a 4.5 near Pottsville. Still snowing back in there. 4.1 here that just came in. We're getting some 3 to 4 inch reports now coming out of these areas. We did say about 3 to 5 inches in some of these northern areas, and it's still snowing. So it probably will end in between that. I think the snow line isn't awesome. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
It is interesting that it's starting to freezing rain a little bit back in my area. I'm interested on that. I'm interested if it's just going to stay like that or what. But in the Blue Mountain, it's snowing very heavy right now. So I'm wondering if that's going to come back or we're going to see that wintry mix. I don't know. It shows it's snowing, but the thing is the temperatures are at 30 degrees. And if it's raining at 30 degrees, then that's what you call freezing rain. So
right.
That wouldn't be good either.
You just see what the European is showing the snowfall over the next 10 days?
No. Should I be worried?
Over in the west? No, I don't think you should, but it's setting us up for a big cold blast. Because look at the west. The western, about to get active here in I'd say late this weekend to beyond, because you've got most of these areas that are dealing with the snow drought across the western slopes here at the higher elevation of the Rockies. They're about to get slammed by multiple storm systems as this cold air really starts to get really cold here in the United States. I would not be shocked if Denver gets a big snowstorm here in a couple of weeks. I would not be shocked at all. Because the 10-to-1 ratio, according to the European model, in the next 10 days. We could say there could be snowfall in the lower elevations of the Rockies and the higher Sierras, and as well as the Cascades as well.
All right. I do see what you are talking about here. I don't think it's going to warm up, though, like that.
Yeah.
It's not going to play out like that. Because there's another stratosphere warming event continuing to show. But you can see another shot of cold air. I think that's probably going to play out. But look at the 0Z. It just shows snow system after snow system for the Northeast for the next 10 days. And wow, look at that. Some at least 2 to 4 inch snow storms throughout up to December 10th. That's going to really help to accumulate that snow. And the models are really showing that with some of these clipper systems are looking more and more likely.
Yeah.
Especially the GFS. It does these clippers a little bit south, though. I mean, on December 10th, it shows a nice clipper system that goes through Pennsylvania. But look at these snow shots, just one after another, every like 3 days apart. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. This is the precipitation. Let's look at the correlation. Yeah, it's still south of Allentown. I'm wondering if it's just a moment where I'm in that wintry mix kind of feel right now, because temperatures are at 30, but you don't want freezing rain, because 30 degrees at freezing rain is definitely going to accumulate at least a bit, and especially with the snow on the ground, pretty cold here. Precip building back in Harrisburg now, quite a bit, on some of the latest radar frames.
Yeah.
Let me quickly look back outside, seeing if it's any snowflakes mixing back into it. Let me see.
Wow, look at that. I'm looking at the VFS extended models.
I'm going to go quickly do another short. I'm going to keep this updated. Do you want to share your screen and kind of talk about this?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get to my screen. Hold on.
All right, you're good. Get your tabs ready, because I'll let you take the show for a little bit while I'm getting the snowfall. I think I'm going to do if it's freezing rain, I want to get the snowfall rates.
I'm going to call back on my computer so I can share my screen.
What? All right.
I'm on my phone doing this, so
yeah.
I'm going to share my screen on my computer. All right. Call you back.
Yep. Are you back? Hey, I cannot hear you, by the way, if you're talking. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You can live share now.
Okay. I didn't know I was muted. Thank you for...
No, you're good.
Okay, so...
Do you want me to show your screen?
All right, guys. Yeah.
All right, just give me a second. All right, I'll let you take the show here. Let's do that. All right, take it over.
Okay.
I will be back.
All right, guys. So we are So what we're looking at is the radar. And you can see currently on radar here on WeatherWise, we can see there's a narrow band where there is a narrow band of sleet and maybe even some freezing rain starting to occur here across Allentown and Harrisburg. New York City are all rain with this event. This snow line is a little further south than what we expected it to be, and all. So if you're in Harrisburg, your snow is about to exit out of the area. So once this last bit of sleet and snow and freezing rain moves out of Harrisburg, your event is over in the Harrisburg area. There may be a couple flurries after that, but I think you're out. Other than that, your system is done. But if you are there is a narrow swath of heavy snowfall here across this area here. I was saying this area here is where I'm keeping an eye on for that potential for a narrow band of heavy snowfall to start to set up. Now, where does that band set up? Looks like it's setting up across Connecticut, across Monroe, Connecticut, Danbury, Connecticut, all of those areas. We're definitely keeping an eye on that because Sparta Township, we're seeing maybe a half an inch to an inch per hour snowfall rates. And this is definitely what could happen. So, y'all got any questions? Feel free to ask me. And I can answer some questions for y'all if y'all got any questions. I can answer them real quick for y'all. And then I also want to not go into long range data yet, but by looking at the long range data that I have been looking at behind the scenes here, there is a chance that we could be dealing with another storm system that comes in late this weekend for the potential for another coastal low that develops. So there's a chance. I mean, there's 100% chance that'll happen. There's probably an 75 to 80% chance of that happening, but we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so going back onto radar, we got Albany, New York, starting to see some heavy snowfall there. Utica, New York, seeing some heavy snowfall there with a quick banding of snowfall within this region here. So we're definitely seeing that as well. And then Albany, New York here, we're seeing some heavy banding of snow as well. So there's that. And then you've got portions of Hartford, Connecticut. We're definitely seeing some snow up here in Hartford, near Manchester, toward Waterbury, to Bristol, that area there. Boston is going to be coming down. It's going to come down as snow on the backside of the system if you are in Boston, because Boston is it's going to come down to how fast does this cold air rush into the Boston metro area. Does it go into if it goes in faster, then that means that the system is going to put down a couple of inches or more in the Boston metro earlier than expected, but it looks to be holding off for now as well. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. Going to the Montpelier, Burlington, Vermont, the Burlington, Vermont National Weather Service radar here on WeatherWise, you can see Burlington, Vermont. We're definitely seeing some really heavy snowfall up there in Burlington, Vermont. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. That's expected to see there. And also want to look at this heavy banding that's setting up here across portions of here in Maine, near Lewiston to Augusta. There is a heavy banding of snowfall, maybe even a coastal ocean water starting to come in and starting to feed into this heavy banding of snow. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on that as well. Bangor, your system is just now starting to see snowfall starting to come into Bangor, a little light to moderate snowfall there in Bangor, Maine. But other than that, this is an overperforming system. So this is a lot further south than what we expected it to be. This is a lot further further south, but this is a lot faster than what we expected it to be. So it's a lot further faster. So, and I also want to go to, let me go here. Let's go to European. Let's go and time this out. go to a continental U.S. view here, and I want to show you all over the next couple of days what's going to be going on. So,
I am back, by the way, but you're doing a great job,
Okay.
so keep it going.
and over the next 10 days, this is the European model solution of what's going to happen over the next 10 days. This is courtesy of Weather Bell. I love Weather Bell so much to see what it does here. Also, and you've got, this is December 3rd, so this is tomorrow. You can see a couple of light showers across Wisconsin and the upper Michigan Peninsula within a low pressure that forms there. You could also see a little bit of light to moderate mountain snow here in the western Rockies, so that could definitely get a possibility up there as well. You could get a heavy snow burst of snow up there in Denver, Colorado, up there into western slopes of Utah, in Catskills. So now, as we head to mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock tomorrow evening, or tomorrow afternoon, you can see Denver is now starting to get into that heavy snowfall. Now, will this dump a whole lot of snow in Denver? No. But it could dump a solid 1 to 2 inches over there in the Denver area. So that's going to be their first real snowfall test of the season there in the Denver area. No, Denver's only had 0.2 inches of snowfall this year. This has been one of the latest first snowfall events in Denver area in quite some time. If you go back into 1995 or 1980s, that's when it last happened. So it's been a long time since this happened in Denver. And to note this, Hawaii, the mountains of Hawaii has had snow before Denver, which is very rare to see. You very rarely see Hawaii get snowfall, the mountains of Hawaii get snowfall before Denver actually gets snowfall this time of the year. It just gives you a hint of what the weather pattern as we're transitioning out of La Nina into the neutral phase and a neutral winter, and we can have these low-end snowstorms that could happen. So, all right, so as we transition back to model data, we can see Thursday, December 4th, you can see there could be a light snow, maybe a burst of moderate snow across western panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. There is going to be rain with the system as well. You can see very not very heavy rain, but some wet conditions across portions of the southern tier. And look what the European model does. The European really tries to pick out some snow here across northern Arkansas, across central Oklahoma into southern Missouri. Now, do I think that will happen? It's a possibility, but I'm not going to rule that out. With the cold air that's in place right now, if we get a storm system to interact with that cold air, we could see a couple of sleet pellets and some snowfall here across the area. And this is what I'm really interested in here. You see here across the interior Northeast, across Kentucky, across the interior Northeast, across the Appalachians mountains, the Appalachians. You can see the Europeans really starting to pick out some snow there across portions of Virginia, across West Virginia, Kentucky maybe. And then you've got the next storm system here across portions of the western United States that's starting to come in. So that is what that's picking out. And then you can see the European model really wants to be aggressive with this. It really wants to ride itself along the coast and put some more snow up to Washington, D.C., up to Philadelphia this coming weekend. So it's going to come down to light snow across New York City, maybe as far east as this low pressure is according to the European model. Now, I want to time this out because I do want to show y'all. This is the European model solution. You go to the previous solution of the Canadian model, and the Canadian one has nothing. It has nothing at all with the system. So you can see it has a little bit on Saturday. It's a lot later on the timing on Saturday with the Canadian model shows freezing rain across North Carolina. You go to the GFS model, the 0Z GFS, and the GFS model, let me go back. The GFS model doesn't really show a lot of snowfall. So we're definitely keeping an eye on this as well. And also, this is going to come down to the GFS has really been bad this season with hurricanes and tropical systems. The GFS has really sucked this season, which has been a bust situation for the GFS. If I were to pick a model that has been really good at the previous model runs, it would probably be the European AI and the regular European models. So that's just me. It may be others.
I agree with you, man. I think that's a very good statement right there.
And to know that the European AI is the new model data that meteorologists and weather enthusiasts are really trying to figure out. And it's really done a good job over the summer with tropical system like Hurricane Melissa. It's really done a really good job on the placement with the European AI. And I think as we get into more of a new technology kind of way in the weather world, you can really start to see the AI models taking over more than deterministic models. So it's going to be, I really want to see us investing a lot of money into the AI models more than the deterministic models. Also, I want to see the GFS get its own AI kind of thing. Like, have the GraphCast GFS on there.
Like a GFS, AFIS. Yep, I agree. I would like to see that. I think, I completely agree with you. I think they should I think what they're planning on doing by the end of this year is putting a brand new GFS in, another beta, and hopefully that's going to fix up some of the issues because GFS has been pretty bad this year.
I mean, you go to like showing a hurricane in the middle of December, like what the heck, GFS? Like, you think hurricane season is going to be in December? I mean, it's not rare to have a hurricane in December, but we've never had it. In the month of December here in the United States, there's never been a U.S. landfall hurricane in the month of December in the United States. So if the GFS was by godly right with that hurricane, I would be shocked. But guess what? Hurricane season's over. We're done. Okay, just I'm not gonna say that. But anyways, just a note there, guys. All right, so as we head to Sunday, there could be a little bit of a clipper system here across the Midwestern United States. That system diminishes a little bit. And then you've got a little bit of more of a heavier snowfall event here across Illinois and the upper Midwest. I'm keeping an eye on this one. Could this one be an overperformer as well? That's a possibility as we head into the area. And then you see another system here developing here across
another clipper system.
Minnesota.
Alberta Clipper.
The Alberta Clipper that's coming in. So there's a lot of things that could go on here, and you can see how active we are. Look how active we are with this, and then this is beyond 10 days. But all models do this with the snowstorms here across the northern tier. As much as we can get this snowpack up into the north, the faster we can get this colder air to the south, and we could definitely. If this is a preliminary forecast for me, and if Weather Kingdom wants to agree, could we see the best area of a white Christmas would probably be this area right up through here.
I agree. I think a little bit further to the north, but I mean, I pretty much agree on that, and I think your chances are very good across the United States.
Yeah. So. And then we know the mountains are going to get white Christmas. We know that. But it's going to come down to if we get the colder air in place if we can get a cold air in place and then we get a storm system to react with the cold air, this is the area right here I'm keeping an eye on for white Christmas this year. Now, that's going to change. This is a preliminary report, but this is a preliminary forecast from me. But what I could tell y'all is that this is the area where I'm not concerned, but I'm very not confident yet, but semi-confident that this is going to be a white Christmas this year in this area. This will likely change. Weather Kingdom and I will look at the model data and we will come up with a forecast for y'all for white Christmas this year. But we are still way beyond 3 weeks out from this even happening. So if you see any snowfall maps out there that are showing 35-day snowfall totals, y'all just be careful. I mean, Weather Kingdom, you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, I do.
with all the hype that's going on across this, in the weather world, we're just trying to, trying to keep things in check here. But there's a possibility we're still 3 or 4 weeks away from Christmas, so things will change. So that's all I got right there. And then you see beyond 10 days, it shows a big snowstorm as the Arctic air comes in through into mid-December. And I do want to show y'all the temperature anomalies beyond this time frame. You can see what I'm talking about.
I don't think it's going to be that warm, though. That's very far
I don't think
out.
it's going to, yeah. So this warm from the Euro is very unrare for the Euro, but it shows that big cool down that tries to come in. So, and if I go to the Canadian model, look at that. So the Canadian model 12Z, that's 12Z. The 0Z Canadian through that time frame shows a cool down a lot earlier, and then we warm up just a little bit of thaw, and then we go right back into a colder period. So that's a definitely possibility there. Just for kicks and giggles, we'll look at the GFS, which I don't want to look at, but
I mean, the GFS ain't totally wrong. I mean, it shows a general spot. I mean, GFS goes crazy in 12Z showing. It wants, by December 12th, it wants the Northeast to pretty much have a snow day.
Wow, look at that.
That's some cold air and some warm air.
300 hours out. Look at that cold air that's building up in... I don't really agree with the GFS on this right here. December 14th. That's very... I don't know about that. But GFS is GFS, so, whatever. But you go back to the zero... Whoa. I did not see the 6C this morning. I did not see the 6C this morning.
Oh.
Holy cow. That's new. That's a new one. Let's see what okay, we won't look at that right now. Holy cow, we won't look at that right now. That's way beyond, that's GFS doing GFS things. Anyways, you can see the European model is a lot aggressive too. So we'll see what happens throughout the next few weeks. We'll keep an eye on the model data, but all I got to say, guys, is that we are heading into a very active weather pattern that's cold and snowy here across most of the central, northern, northwestern, western, and northeastern United States. So, and I won't be shocked if we get a severe weather event that tries to take place with the Arctic air, with the sudden stratospheric warming that's going to occur here to mid to late December as the Arctic air funnels in. And could we get a severe weather event? That's possible, but way too far out to tell that as well. So that's all I got there.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and look at the 500 millibars if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
The 500 millibars, throughout the weeks, he has a little bit of zonal flow, but you can see a little bit of a negative tilt, positive tilt there as well. So definitely something to keep an eye on. You can see a little bit of a shortwave trough there, a little bit of a dip right here as well. And you can see the trough starting to dig in across the western slopes of the United States. So that's all I got there, guys, for the model data for now. But Mother Kingdom and I will look at model data throughout today, and we'll come back with a forecast in what you say, Mother Kingdom, like a week or two, or some snowfall maps are coming for Christmas.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about doing another week or two.
I can make my own snowfall map, and I can share it with you.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay.
I think you do this very well, honestly. I think you should have your own YouTube channel, too.
Oh, I do.
You
do? Yeah.
You should have told me. I would have put it out on my channel.
Oh. Yeah, I have it. Yeah, I'll share it with you.
Yeah, no problem. I could definitely do that later on and share it with everybody. But you guys, once I put it in the channel below in the chats, please go subscribe to him. He just gave you a full-out forecast that I think is awesome. And I honestly, the more I think about it, yes, he was in the channel, but he knows what he's talking about. We're on the same page. He does the snowfall forecast maps, temps forecast. He has some very good data, and I think this is going to be a very good setup throughout the winter months and potentially even into next hurricane season if he will be down to, partner up with some each other's live streams on each other's channels. But he describes it very well, and I think he's an awesome guy to have on in the weather crew here on the weather team. Honestly, you just gave an awesome forecast that everything was perfect. So thank you for that. If you would like to put your channel in the chat below, feel free to, man. Don't hesitate or anything. But you guys, thank you. Thank you for that forecast. That was a very good forecast, and I would have done exactly pretty much the same thing. Now let's take a look at some of this. All right. Let's re-update the snowfall forecast map. Okay. We have quite a few 6-inch reports now coming out. In upstate New York, that one kind of now transitioned to quite a few snowfall. We have a few 6-inch reports now coming out of New York, upstate New York, just north of Pennsylvania, of some areas already seeing about 6 inches. In the northern and the Mount Poconos, 3.5 snowfall totals. These need to update a little bit more. Back in Pottsville, 4.5. Central Pennsylvania. This is going to continue to fill in, but so far, pretty good. Even up into Vermont areas, 5 inches, 4 inches. Upstate New York, Mass is going to be coming in hopefully soon. Northern New Jersey, 1 to 2 inches so far. We're going to have to wait and see on more of the snowfall forecast map. But look at the GFS for some reason. It likes winter fun here. A lot of winter chances. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's there. The chances are there. It is currently freezing rain right now in my area at 30 degrees. It's still pretty much falling with a few flakes trying to mix into it. And I'm in these areas, so probably in the Mount Pocono. I know the Blue Mountain Ridgeline, you're still snowing with a wintry mix. But south of that, this is probably as solid in Allentown, Nazareth, Easton, Hamburg, Lebanon, Harrisburg. Pottsville is probably in snow, just south of Pottsville. These regions here is probably dealing with a solid freezing rain / sleet issue going on. Right in here now. You're starting to see it. It might not show the pink, but I am recording some freezing rain. Weather Kingdom, just so you know, that isn't really the first nor'easter of the winter. I mean, it is the first north. I mean, it's
not. No, Weather Kingdom's not. It's like the third or second.
It is.
No, it's not.
It's not?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, if you want to count with snow, but you are pretty, yeah.
With snow, yes, but there's been 2 other nor'easters this year.
And that was more of a rain. I mean, yeah, you are right, because I do remember me talking about a rain nor'easter about a month ago. I mean, for the snow-wise, it's the first, but we did have 2 other rain nor'easters that brought some impacts. But I guess you are right. Let's just clarify this as the first snowstorm in the Northeast where we're getting some good accumulations and some steady accumulations.
All right. Well, I'm going to go now. So
Thank you.
Just going to let you know about that.
Thank you.
No problem.
I think that was Trever. Trever WX. Go subscribe to him. Feel free to. We do have still some, the back end snow line hanging around Harrisburg right now. The ending is kind of hanging on in Harrisburg. We're dealing with some freezing rain, some sleet. Let me go quickly check if there is some snow going on. Let me quickly check for you guys.
So guys, we are tracking this nor'easter here, the first snowstorm of the season. So keeping an eye on it. I'm over here back behind the scenes here looking at radar data and all. So
Looks like a freezing rain event has pretty much has been going on. It's still freezing rain, but the temperatures are very chilly. And we're still talking about temperatures below 31 degrees in the area, and it's raining. And I'm starting to see it on the trees, that little wimp in the tree branches. That will likely continue for the next hour or so. The storm is continuing. South of Allentown, south of I-78, probably some more warmer rain. Philly, you're just staying rain. New York, you're staying rain. Boston, you are staying plain rain, at least for now.
Oh, Weather Kingdom, they have the Storm Duration Center just put out a message for discussion for winter mixed precipitation.
Let me look at that. A mesoscale, right?
Yeah.
I've actually been out. If you're talking about this one right here, it expires in 43 minutes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I read about that earlier a bit.
Okay.
They did update some winter weather advisories for additional snow accumulations and ice accumulations around a light glaze of ice now. I do think this freezing rain will continue. I don't think this rain line is going to go any more north. I think this is how it's going to be now. For New England, it's probably going to get a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Some of the future, by 2 p.m., it does go a little bit more north. But it really doesn't go, 5 p.m., you get up to Worcester, and then that snow line starts coming back down as we get into the night times. That could bring a burst of snow in Boston. We'll have to wait and see. I do appreciate everybody tuning in here. We've been busy all morning keeping an eye on this. Shout out to you. You have been a major help. If you would like to share your name to the audience, because I think we're gonna probably team up with future live streams here if you are available.
Yes, I am available. Yes, I am.
So I think that'll be a very good thing. Did you put your YouTube channel into the
Yes.
chat? Okay.
Yes, I did.
So go subscribe to him. I will also send it to me privately.
Okay.
So that I will be able to put it in the links below. Thank you for all the support, you guys. I will be ending the stream probably pretty shortly. I do need to take a little bit of a break. Probably going to shovel a little bit before everything turns into this ice, because with temperatures barely getting out of 32, when that temperature drops tonight in the 20s, it's not going to be a lovely shoveling event then. So I would like to get that fixed. But there is some heavy snow going on up in Scranton, north of Mount Poconos. Probably getting some good accumulations. This snow line is really sticking around here. When we look at the precipitation, I think this was a solid 3. Some of these areas got 3 to 4 inches. I think this was a good forecast. Down here, I would have probably put just a coating to 1, and even in this blue. And then up here, I think there's 5 to 8. I would have probably done 4 to 8. But so far, what I'm seeing, we're already getting snowfall reports up to 4.5 inches. So pretty much here, we're getting some more snowfall reports. And actually, it looks like that maybe was a few 6 inches back in Cleveland, Ohio. There was a 6 inch. There was another one near Lake Erie, that 6.9. And then you can kind of see some scattered 6s to the northern regions here. When we take a look back in the Lehigh Valley area, you see general 3-4 inches so far showing up. I wouldn't be surprised some 5 and 6s for Blue Mountain Ridgeline on north. I think, actually, let me go quickly check on how Blue Mountain is doing at this current time. I know they were, at the last time I checked, they were snowing pretty good. And it looks to me that it's becoming more of a wintry mix. Yeah, it's looking like a wintry mix is starting to make it into the Blue Mountain Ridgeline. Still snowing, but it's starting to turn into, and when I mean Blue Mountain Ridgeline, we're probably getting to that freezing rain line probably split it right through here. We're starting to see some wintry mix on south. Probably north of that, you're still dealing with some pretty steady snow, and I think that's going to continue. Maybe the freezing rain line does get there towards the end, but this is a lot colder than expected. I think this has pretty much averaged out pretty well between the models, and I think it was a great forecast. Is there anything else you would like to add before I kind of wrap it up here?
Yes. So, guys, if y'all don't know me, I am Brian. It says Benjamin on there. That's my first name. So, Benjamin Brian right here. I am currently in college for meteorology at the University of OU, Oklahoma. Online, not physically there, but I'm online doing it. So, I would love for y'all to come subscribe to my channel. Also, go subscribe and share the stream out to everybody with Weather Kingdom and I and the weather team, and we will keep y'all updated on this situation and future live streams as well. And I would love to be on the side with Weather Kingdom and his team to do live streams in the near future, and I would love to, and I'm available any day, Weather Kingdom. So,
Great.
I also got class, but in school, but. Other than that, I know a lot about the weather second year in college, so I'm about to get here in a couple of months, I'm going to get one of my degrees. I'm going for my bachelor's degree, and then I might go back to college for another 4 years to get my doctor's degree, so we'll see about that.
So I just put the link in there. Go subscribe to him, you guys. We're probably going to be teaming up here in the next coming months here and even weeks here. I think we've done an awesome job. I know it was a little early of a stream. I was expecting to go actually a little bit earlier, but I kind of a little bit overslept and kind of just dozed off, if you know what I mean. I was up pretty late last night doing live coverage, but I think we've done a great live coverage throughout the morning hours. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to be going, you guys. I hope you guys liked and subscribed. We've been alive for almost 3 hours here. I will be coming back probably with a short update later on. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. Go subscribe to him, to Brian or Benjamin, however you want to call him. Benjamin the Weatherman. Yeah. You know how it is. But we have a lot to talk about in the near future. A lot of snow chances coming up for December. I think a lot of clipper systems, very cold pattern, some 2 to 4 inch, 1 to 3 inch snowfall is going to happen in the next coming few weeks here across the Northeast, the upper Midwest. I think that's going to be a general theme here. It's definitely slippery out there, so be careful. Take it with precaution. It's definitely some interesting data we're looking at, okay? Yeah, probably some of that freezing rain is starting to make it up here. You can start seeing some of these getting up to now Allentown, Nazareth. You're starting to see that take over. Probably some freezing rain. You could tell right through here. Some sleet even. But I do think this will eventually wrap up. If you're in the northern regions, you're continuing with a steady snow. I am very interested on what the snowfall forecast